Here's an idea for all of us who love to talk about rap and hip-hop. Let's just drop the big three. Just the whole term. Let's just say that was of a certain time and it no longer has relevance, okay? I'm gonna be explaining that in this video, putting forth my ideas. I made them a list just to be cute. I made a list of big three reasons why we should drop the big three, okay? It's redundant and repetitive. It's incomprehensible, and it is against the spirit of hip-hop. Okay, so let me explain those reasons more. I've been thinking about this because I've been watching a lot of videos. I watch a lot of YouTube commentary, and there's this whole kind of question, like, okay, so then if Cole is no longer part of the top three because he dropped out and he's not competitive, then who is? Is it Tyler? Tyler's releasing an album right now. Oh, let's frantically figure out who the top three. So it's Tyler, is Kendrick? Can Kendrick still be on there? Can you be a part of two different big threes at the same time? Future, what about Future? We dropped him off last time, but actually, wait, maybe Drake. Maybe Drake is still on there. But Playboy Card, Travis Scott. Is Travis Scott? Okay. We got Travis Scott, Tyler the Creator, and Losey Vert. I don't know. I ran out. I can't come up with three. I've even seen things like on Reddit where they try to say, like, okay, let's do big threes of the past. I saw a list that had the big three of the 90s. It was Biggie, Tupac, and Nas, and I wanted to tear my eyeballs out because it's like, okay, but Jay-Z and Outkast, what's the point of this thing? How does it work? We've got to stop, drop, take out the stupid big three. That's just what we have to do. Now listen, this is Professor Skye's Record Review, the always positive new music review show, and you'll notice this is not a music review. I mostly do music review. I mostly don't do commentary like this. And beyond that, I'm not of hip-hop culture. I'm an observer, right? I'm a tourist in this. I made a whole video about that. So take what I say with a grain of salt. Whether or not I'm telling you something is against hip-hop, feel free to just say, shut up, white man, you're in a bathrobe in your backyard. That's totally fair. But let me get into my points as to why I think this is just a faulty term that someone came up with like 12 years ago and somehow we're stuck with it, okay? First of all, redundant, okay? And repetitive. We already have a couple good terms like GOAT. Like, we can have a debate. We should be debating who is at the top of the hip-hop game and the rap game. That's crucial, right? The competition is part of the art, right? So you have the greatest of all time. People will say my GOAT for right now, or I use the term Gorn, greatest of right now. And then we also have the top five. And we've had the top five for a long time. We had the top five back when I was into hip-hop back in the 90s, okay? And you have two different top fives. You have your top five right now, top five dead or alive, It all kind of works. Like, we don't really need a new subsection of competitiveness, especially when it is incomprehensible. What the hell does the big three mean? I don't understand it. I don't understand why these three artists go together. Why do Kendrick, Cole, and Drake go together? What is it about? What good does it serve? Where does it come from? I'll tell you where it comes from. It comes from basketball. I grew up in Boston in the 1980s. I never once heard the term Big Three applied to Bird, McHale, and Parrish. Now listen, I was like young. So maybe that was a term that was used. According to Wikipedia, that's the history. That was the first time this term was used. But listen, my favorite player on the Celtics was Dennis Johnson, okay? And he's not a part of the big three. I love Danny Ainge. I used to go out on the key and try and take the Danny Ainge shot. And every time I go, Danny Ainge, and I'd shoot and I'd miss because he was, out of the back, We're forgetting Bill Walton. We're forgetting Cedric Maxwell. We're forgetting Greg Kite, for all you real ones out there. But really, the big three, I think it was a later Celtics team, Pierce, Garnett, and Allen, where you had the idea that you could just sort of buy yourself a team. And if you bought three players, then you could win a championship. And that's what Boston did. I hate to say it, I hate to admit it, but that's what we did, okay? But really, if we're being totally honest, you walk up to most people on the street and say, in basketball, who are the big three? They're going to say LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, Miami Heat 2010. That's what I think this is all about. And maybe this is just maybe I am simultaneously too old and too young for this whole conversation, because I wasn't paying that much attention to rap in the 2010s. Okay, in the beginning of 2010s, I was kind of tuned out. So I was really into the old school, really into the new school, all the way through the 90s, early 2000s, and then I kind of tuned out. So maybe this makes more sense if you were around in that time. But it feels to me like it's just taking the ethos of commentating on basketball and just jamming it into hip-hop. But how does it make sense, even with the acknowledged big three, which, as far as I can see, I've never seen anyone say, whoa, wait a minute. What does this mean? Why are Drake, Kendrick, and Cole mixed together? And if they are, where is Kanye, and where is Future, and where is Wayne, and where is Nicki? Like truly, if we're talking about that decade, where are these other people? And where's the other two people you just put into the comment section? Okay, you put two other people I wasn't even thinking of. What is the criteria that goes into making this? It's about a team. If it's big three, it's a team. If it's top three, it's a battle. If it's big three, it's a team. So what is this team about? How do you get on this team? Is it about sales? Is it about authenticity and cultural impact? Is it about skill? You tell me. And how in the universe do these three work together? Like, especially, how does Cole fit into this? Now listen, I was not paying attention to rap during Cole's heyday. Okay, the first Cole album I ever heard was King of Drugs. Or right? But okay, let's just say sales. Okay, let's just go by sales. Cole has 1 number 1 hit. Kendrick has 4. Drake has 13. So if it's by sales, then Cole doesn't really fit on there, you know? I mean, Kanye has more number 1 hits than Cole. Nicki has more number 1 hits. Macklemore has more number 1 hits. Why isn't Macklemore? I can't even say it. Why isn't Macklemore in the big three instead of Cole, okay? Like, okay, but it's not just about that. And that's maybe leading towards what could be interesting about the big three, the fact that it's hard for all three of them to go together, because if we have authenticity as a criteria, then, you know, Kendrick and Cole are there, but then you can't really say Drake is there, because that's the whole problem with Drake. Impact, okay, but really is Cole at the same level of impact as Kendrick and Drake, and is even Kendrick on this, you know, I mean, Nicki, is Nicki not more impactful than all three of them? Okay, is this the top 3 impact? No, it's the big 3. Is it skill? If it's skill, realistically, Drake probably doesn't belong with those other two. When do we choose it? Is it by age? Is it by prime? Is it by legacy? Is the reason that Wayne wasn't on there is because he was already sort of in the decline, or what was it? And all of this goes together with this main issue that is what's really grinding my gears, okay? Is that it's again. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a parody of myself. But a middle-aged white guy in his bathrobe with his back porch talking about what really grinds my gears in hip-hop conversation is that I think it's anti-hip-hop, okay? Because the big three implies the same team, that they're all working together. Garnett, Pierce, and Allen working together. It's a team. Cool. But fuck that. It's a competitive art. Tell you what, you call it the top 3, okay? You call it the top 3, I'm okay. I'm okay. You want to cut it from the top 5 to the top 3, that's fine. But that's not what this is. In the history of this art, it is who's Dr. J? Who's Michael Jordan? Who's Kobe? Who's LeBron? Who's Marcus Smart? Okay, not Marcus Smart, but he's my favorite player. You know, like who's Jordan? That's the question. Now listen, if you want to make an argument that the big 3 is actually a big-brained thing, then I might actually be cool with you, because like, if it is the idea of like making a whole team with different strengths that play together to make a full squad, you know, so you have Garnett, who's a monster in the paint, and then you have Allen, who's outside is a 3-point shooter, and like they go together and they play together, but that's not the way it's argued. I've never heard it argued that way. That's a complicated, nuanced argument. That's the kind of horse hockey that I would come up with and spend time on. And if you're going to do that, you're going to need a full court, because you're going to have to figure out who's the point guard. Who's the point guard of this team, right? That's not how it works. It ends up becoming a surrogate for the top 5, but it just doesn't make sense. And I think what makes more sense is if we just allow hip-hop to be what it's been for a long time, before the big 3 came in, where it was a question of top 5 and then individual battles. Now, these battles sometimes are not even, they can be in collaboration or conflict. So you can have the conflict of Jay-Z versus Nas or Biggie versus Tupac, but then you can also have a friendlier conflict like Jay-Z and Biggie or De La Soul and Tribe, right? Like, that's what's more interesting, the idea of it being more like a boxing match than like a team sport, because it's not supposed to be a team sport. That's the whole idea. That's the power of the versus model, which brings us to all the way back circle to the big 3. Why has this year been so glorious for rap music? Well, first of all, because Schoolboy Q released, and that was good, and Doechii released, and that was good, okay? There's just some reasons that rap has been good this year. It's been like 20 amazing rap albums, at least. Like, amazing, top-tier rap albums. But it's been because of Kendrick versus Drake. Maybe we can see this as being the great reset in hip-hop, as Read My Soul termed it. Cool. Maybe it's that. Maybe we're moving towards something that's more authentic to the spirit of hip-hop. Maybe something that's more authentic to the Black American cultures that created it. There's a whole bunch of things that could be happening right now. But maybe we can take this as a chance to just drop the big 3. Just let it go. Like, there was a big 3, but that was a tenuous concept at best, and now we can move on. And that's why Cole dropping out maybe was good after all, because it couldn't exist. You can't have the Spider-Man meme with this. It has to be Drake versus Kendrick. It can't be Drake versus Kendrick versus Cole versus Kendrick versus Drake versus Kendrick. No, that doesn't make sense. We want 1v1, mano a mano. All right? So anyways, that's my little plea, that we just let it go. We're not trying to force it together. Tyler and Travis and okay? So anyways, speaking of basketball, I'm going to try and make my shot over the shoulder. As I do, out here, I'm going to check my baby monitor, see how I'm doing. This is a pretty quick video. She's still asleep. We're all good. All right, if I make this, I will tell you my secret top 3. All right, I'll tell it to you anyway. My top 3, my big 3, if I'm just being honest with you, it'd be Dylon and Dylon. And then, like, kind of on the outskirts, Dylon. I think if we had to say who's the big 3 now, that would be the only honest answer. All right. Cold out here. You tell me what you think. Do you think the big 3 term has a meaning and importance that I missed? Okay, feel free to tell me, because I might be wrong on this. But, or do you agree with me and just say down with the big 3? It really grinds my gears. All right, there's the camera.